well, 6D diesels. So what we've decided to do this week, or this evening, in Project Riot, and you've seen us fix a gearbox on it the other week. So what we're going to do now is we did have some brake issues on the way home. There was some funny, strange clonketing coming off of one side of the truck, and there was definitely like a bit of sort of burny, smelly brake pad stuff. So I bought some new brake discs. I've bought new pads and bits and bobs all the way round. So what we'll do now is we'll show you how to do the rear brakes on a 4.6 ton Sprinter or the equivalent 46 LT46 Volkswagen LT. Top quality. Right, so we're in a bit closer. As you can see, they're not looking the most special of things. I mean, the discs probably would run again, and there's not a lot of meat left on that pad. Now, on these 4.6 tonners, you'll find you have, obviously, the wheel nuts, and then you've got your little washers, one in on here, and then one on the outside. And then you've got this big hub plate bolted over the end that goes over the end of here and bolts the disc to the axle. Now, I've seen loads of people, Icos you can't do it, Sprinters you can, take the whole bit out, shaft, bearing assembly, everything out, get the disc off. You don't need to do that. It's designed, if you look at the lumps in the disc, where are they there, see the little scallops, that if you whacker, you need a big whacker like that one, because these things are always murderously tight. Whip this bolt plate off. Then once you've dropped the caliper, we'll show you it in a minute, you can pull the whole disc off, and then you've got the handbrake assembly behind it. Now, these handbrake assemblies are renowned for being troublesome as well, because if you've ever been for a ministry test with one of these, trying to get the handbrake to work properly is a nightmare. There is a secret to this. One, the way you set it, and two, is genuine Mercedes shoes. Don't ask me why. Push spurious ones on there, handbrake's rubbish. Push genuine ones on there, handbrake's normally pucker. Right, so obviously now we've got this disc plate off. Obviously this disc is fully floating. Just remove the caliper. So the caliper has, you can split the caliper. So it's held on to the caliper carrier, which is this bit here, by two big 13mm bolts. Long 13mm bolts, not really very big, are they? Let me just remove the torch so we can all see a bit better. So two 13mm bolts just here. And the other thing else you have to remember to do is to pull this brake warning sensor out, otherwise you just break them every time. So, oh, here we go, come on, bolt. So obviously this bolt is through the actual sliders for the caliper, because obviously we've got a set of pads this side, a set of pads this side. This is only a 2-pot caliper. So when it pushes on this side, obviously to pull this side, it has to slide on these sliders. 4-pot caliper, you wouldn't have these at all. You've got 4 pots pushing, but this is a 2. And the 3.5 ton version, as I can remember, I think is a single pot rear caliper with the same slider setup. So what I want to do is quickly whip these out of here, and we'll separate the caliper, find somewhere sensible to sit it, because obviously it's got a flexible brake hose running to it. And it's also got a brake warning wire, as you have seen, with the brake warning sensor. So you undo both of these. On, Mr. Mercedes. You should pop out of there, or enough to get me out, that's it. And then you can, this is probably not the best, you have to leave up. There's the slider out of there, look. And then you've got to pop the caliper centre. The sliders are nice and free away from the carrier. You take the bolts out once you've got it off of here. The bottom one will come out, but the top one won't normally. Ideally, we could do with a big lever bar, but as we didn't bring one with us, we're going to stick with this lot. Actually, I don't know if we are, because I think we're a bit stuck. We'll go and get a lever bar and rescue my bolt. It's useful this type of thing to have a bolt box. Right, that's what I've done. Also got me lever belt, and I've levered on here a bit and basically pushed the pistons back in a bit, which should allow me a bit of wiggle in, because it does not want to play ball because it's a bit seized, to pop the outer caliper off. Come on. If you lever this way gingerly, normally piston in, and it goes in this gate like that. So bolt out, bolt can go in there. And as you'll see, what we've got is a 2-piston caliper for the sliders. So the sliders are pretty free, that's good. What we need to do now is clean these, shove these back in there, and then basically we make sure this caliper's free, and then obviously this lot, as you can see by the state of this pad at the back here, it's junk. That is, I think they will call that past its best. So that's the disc whipped off. As you'll see, the handbrake shoes are in really nice nick and are genuine Mercedes ones. There's a fair chance, obviously, this vehicle being an automatic with a park lock, that the poor old handbrake has never really been used. Even the little adjuster is free. We'll get him out and lube him up. And then what I've got to attend to now is getting some new discs, because as you can see, that's not looking the best, is it? I mean, you could run it again, but I don't think I want to on my vehicle. So, and the handbrake shoes, yeah, he's had it. Look at you can see the big grooves, and he's ridged all to hell. That is junk. So Leslie just seen disc back on, hub connector back on. On these little discs, there is a hole just there. That's to allow you to click your handbrake star adjuster up. So flat blade screwdriver in there. Best way to set these handbrakes up, because loads of people have trouble with these 416s and LT35s to get them right, or even a medium standard wheelbase Sprinter single rear wheeler. Let everything off. So basically, undo the twister on the handbrake cables at the front. Make sure all the slack is as slack as it can be. Set it from the back. So crank her up as tight as you can here, just so it touches. A little tiny bit of drag won't hurt for the first few miles. And then basically set your handbrake cables forwards after that. And then you'll have a good handbrake. And as I say, use genuine Mercedes handbrake shoes. Be good. Right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to take this caliper carrier, and we'll chuck that through the shop glass cabinet. Sprucing that up, and then we've got to look at this to make sure that it's free and does what I need it to do. Right, one shot blasted caliper carrier. So, right, that just slung back on here a minute, and then we're going to have to deal with the mess that is the new brake caliper. So, mainly shot blasted the sliders where the brake, or the pads where the brake pads sit. I'll tighten them up in a minute. So we're going to try and clean these pistons out. They don't look bad, actually, to be honest. I'll put some lube in there, see if they squidge back in and free off. Sliders are good, so we should be somewhere near. Sponge caliper, you just got to quickly whip the big bar or torque these up, and they're windy gunned up to make sure they're tight, but they're going to be pretty murderous. Caliper bolts up, sliders greased, pads in, pad sensor fitted. Let's all call this side done. So we've got a little bit of drag on the handbrake, which is about perfect. Just polish the sheet up against the inside the drum, inside the drum, inside the disc, and that's this side done. And I'm going to go and do the other side. I'm going to bother taking you with me because, let's be honest, you don't want to see me do this twice now, do you? I have seen some spectacular tarred stuff in this trade, but this one did have a bit of a clonky noise on one side. Might have found a bit of a clonky noise on one side. Got to have a look at this. So that's the outer wheel, inner wheel. Now they're these little spacer collets, right? These little spacer collets are designed to stop your wheel wobbling around all over the place. They're supposed to be like 2 on the inside wheel, or 1 on the inside wheel and then 1 on the outside. So some top quality fucking scientist here has putting them on the outside to stop the wheel chewing itself to death. They put them between the 2. So what it has successfully done is eaten the inner wheel and completely nosed the outside one. Marks out of 10 there, people. I mean, honestly, where do they find them? Oh, and luckily enough, I did have a new set of wheels and tyres to put on it, because I think we're pretty sure that this wheel is, well, 1, flat, and 2, it's now officially junk, says it doesn't have any. Honestly, where do they find them? Right, I'm going to go and do my brakes. New discs, both sides. Calipers were fine, they all DC'd, this side too. This is the one with the, you'd have seen a second ago, with the exciting, now ruined wheels. So, El Nouveau wheels, shot blasted and painted, posh, eh? I bought some Michelin tyres, new to me, not new. And I have chucked them on, torqued all the wheel bolts up, and I'm assuming we won't have any clonky, whir, rattly, funny, banging noises, and I now don't need to replace a diff. What I also have started on whilst I was here is we did have a slightly rusty rear step, so I decided to quickly whip that off. I'll show you that, that's over there. That was a piece of artwork, that was. So I think what we really need to do now, put some diesel in the old goat because she's running a bit low. Maybe we'll just have a quick whip up the road with the trade plates of immunity obviously clamped on, just to check that this has actually sorted the wobbly, clunky, bangy, scrapey, smelly noise that we had before. Kind of plan. So that's me rear step, as you can see. I mean, the bit of plastic was, even though it had parking sensors, quite spectacularly beaten to death, and the parking sensors worked. And it did feel a bit crispy, not really surprising, because the understep has completely evaporated. Luckily enough, as I'm a complete Mercedes parts hoarder, I happen to have one of those. So what we're going to do, toddle over here and show you, because obviously this fits over a fairly spectacular tow bar. So we've done some sort of bits of rust treatment, pulled that corner over there because it had a whopping great dent in it, and I've got a little patch of roost I need to attach there. But anyway, that won't stop us going and doing a bit of test driving. We go in here, and we just painted this morning. It's one of our nice customers. We've sealed wheel arches, inner flitches, outer flitches, and it was painted this strange colour at the bottom. Luckily enough, she had a tin of it, so we've just chucked that on there. It's looked quite flat, but that's how it came out. That's their paint, not mine. It's a bit matte finish, eggshell, whatever you want to call it. Well, I'm going to go and find some diesel, which is down there, and then we're going to go and do some test driving. Speaker grill. Someone stole the speakers. Anyway, right, we have put fuel in the old thing. I don't know what's going on in the world at the moment, but we ain't seen any of these Apache type helicopters for ages, and we're just off the Wiltshire Downs where they keep the Apache helicopters. And the half seem to be doing a lot of stuff with Apache helicopters at the moment. Doesn't make you think in this world, does it? Right, we're alive, we're running, we have the immunity plates on, we have, oh, pumpy. Now you will have quite an exciting and annoying parking sensor noise going off that I can't shut up because current, they ain't attached. So we just back around here and then I can turn the parking sensor noise off. and then we're going to have a bit of a whiz up the road and see if it goes clunky, wobble, 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 vibratory, smell bad. So hopefully we have cured, because I reckon that nasty rumbling noise. Oh, shut up, annoying Parkinsons, as we know we're not hitting anything. There's nothing to hit because you're over there, you're not in the vehicle. Right. Better. So hopefully we should have, don't hit your C-Class, man. Oh, it's a good job we didn't have a back bumper on there, isn't it? Oh, I'm going to make that. Yeah, right, we're out. Right, so what we had before was this sort of strange rumbling noise, which I think might have been the wheel falling off on the back due to someone putting the collets in the wrong place, and obviously some horrible brake squawking. So we're going to see if that's gone. One thing, everyone tells me I'm not wearing a seatbelt. Seatbelt. 5 messages last time about not wearing a seatbelt. I mean, I do normally wear a seatbelt, let's be honest. I'm only driving a Mini. You would have thought people had got better things to do. It's not my fault, I forgot. Anyway, so we are now wearing the seatbelt. Right. There's nothing horrible yet. Sounds quite nice and quiet. Normally made rumbly, clonky, horrible noises either when you touch the brakes. No, that's alright. How you were going down there? Yeah, that's fine. Don't use those indicator things, it'll wear them out. Right. No worry, rumbly, clonky noises yet. Good, so we can't give it any of the big yeehaw large because we're still in the 30 limit. Right, for the yeehaw large. Not terribly much because we're now in the 40 limit. End of the 40 limit is in sight. But we're not making any rumbly, bangy, clunkety noises. That's much smoother. No diff noise. Alright, on the loud pedal. Yes, I think that's cured that. Let's have a quick whiz down the main road while we're at it. Get up to sort of 60 mile an hour and see what happens. It's got a slightly long pedal, might need to do some brake bleeding, it's a bit squidgy. Oh, and another Sprinter. It's a really tidy looking Sprinter too. Sprinter camper van? Maybe, no, perhaps it isn't that tidy. No, it's not that tidy. That's all, it looks quite rubbish. Right. No worry, clunky, banging noises. That's 60 mile an hour. National speed limit applied. So yeah, no, that's good. I think we fixed that. That's good. That means I don't have to buy a back diff. It means I don't have to change a back diff. That's improved my day massively. Been tailgated by some cretin in a white Ford Focus. Apart from that, life is good. Man in the Sprinter in front of you just flat winking his side lights at me. Good on him. It's like being in the club, you know. Right. I think we're good. We are pulling up in a straight line, which is good. I mean, the front brakes are about half worn, so I might hold on to my new discs and pads for the front until I've completely ruined this set. Well, I reckon we're getting pretty close to an MOT. Do need to attempt to, we have a bit of sill rust this side. And I have started on the big dent that was on the other side. And but mechanically, well, he's peachy. Right, well I suppose I might as well leave this video here. Sorry it's a bit short, but there you are, how to do the rear brakes on a 4.6 tonne Mercedes Sprinter or a Volkswagen LT46. And I say the handbrake setting applies to the 3.5 tonne ones. Follow the ideas. Decent quality shoes, Merc ones also fit Volkswagens. Start from the back, make sure you've got loads of cable slack, and set them on the star nut adjusters. On the 3.5 tonne ones, you can get to the star nut adjuster on the back by taking a wheel stud out. Wheel stud torch, look in, and you clack it up so it just touches, and then set your slack back, tighten your cables and your adjusters forwards, and then basically your handbrake should be pucker. I only have to do it 3 times a week for people with rubbish handbrakes. It works on a Mercedes 906 as well. It's the same idea. So loads of slack, set it at the back, work your way forwards, and the little cantilevers are working at perfect point. Right, thank you very much. Al, 6D Diesels.